If you walk into a dense tropical rainforest, the very first thing you'll notice is the dynamic chaos of life. Wild animals group together, move erratically, and socialize in complex ways, like a flock of parrots bursting out of the canopy. Human language naturally attempts to categorize this biological chaos. For example, we are often taught that a group of parrots is officially called a pandemonium. We learn a whole list of these whimsical group terms in childhood. We talk about a murder of crows or a parliament of owls. But there is a strange grammatical anomaly hiding in these lists. The official term for a group of wild boars is a singular of boars. It is an inherent paradox. Why use a word that explicitly means one to describe a plurality of living creatures? This bizarre contradiction is not a mistake. It points to a hidden feature of the English language that actively works to erase the individuality of living creatures. To understand these names, we look back to a 1486 hunting manual, the Book of St. Albans. These terms of venery were inside jargon for the medieval hunting elite. Divorced from biology, authors created an arbitrary checklist to identify targets, not understand behavior. The paradoxical term singular for boars was born out of this exact hunting tradition, a perspective that viewed these animals merely as prey to be run down. We pass these whimsical names down to children today as fun trivia, but they began as tools designed to abstract living animals into generic, killable targets. Modern scientific literature continued this medieval habit of abstraction. You can see it clearly in texts like the Encyclopedia Britannica. When encyclopedias describe an entire species, they do so using a singular, definite article. They refer to millions of distinct animals collectively as simply the boar. Philosopher Jacques Derrida called this the general singular. It's a linguistic trick where a sprawling, diverse group is represented by one theoretical prototype. The singular article the acts as a grammar rule that completely overwrites the unique traits of any individual animal. The living, breathing animal standing in the woods vanishes. We are left with an abstract, perfect Platonic ideal that doesn't actually exist in nature. This produces a state called universal fungibility, a system where every individual creature is treated as perfectly interchangeable with any other of its kind, like mass-produced coins. Saying the boar strips away the specific creature existing in the here and now, the hic et nunc, replacing messy reality with a neat, invisible concept. The ultimate literal realization of universal fungibility exists today in the modern video game, where animals are built as perfect, identical digital clones. If you play an action role-playing game like Titan Quest, standard enemies are indistinguishable duplicates. These digital beasts are the ultimate Platonic forms, confined to a single character model, a restricted range of animations, and perfectly uniform mathematical stats. In the digital realm, humanity's centuries-old linguistic habit of stripping away an animal's individuality is finally written into literal code. But the math of the game code does not dictate the actual experience of playing it. In the middle of a frantic fight, you don't experience the enemy as a philosophical abstraction. The word virtual itself traces back to the Latin virtus, which translates to personal strength, power, or capacity. When your digital health bar is dropping, the threat forces you to recognize the specific virtus, the speed and the strength of the single opponent attacking you. The illusion of the generic clone shatters. The same applies when we step back out into reality. Encountering a real biological animal in the wild demands that exact same immediate individual recognition. True interaction, whether you are surviving a digital battle or walking through the woods, forces us to discard our human labels. We forget about the general boar. We forget the singular of boars,